Hi guys, welcome back. First thing is I do want to apologise about the weekend. I was meant to do a preview video to the Crystal Palace match and then obviously a reaction video afterwards. I just had an absolutely manic weekend. Um, there's there's no way I could have done any of the videos. I wanted to come back yesterday and do a video, but again we were kind of back home for literally an hour, if that, and that was to grab stuff and go back out again. It was just it was just one of those weekends. I went back to work last week, Thursday, Friday. I think I mentioned it, and then obviously as soon as you go back to work and stuff needs doing on the weekend and there's plans, everything just goes a little bit up in the air. I'm still learning how to balance this with work. So, for example, today I only got back from work. It's around about 6:30. I've showered, sorted a couple of things, seen the kids for not very long, help put them to bed, and then shower and stuff, and then make a video. I just wanted to pop up to say about the game. Again, I was that busy, I didn't even watch the game, which some fans would see as absolute blasphemy. I don't miss many actual first team games. Pre-season, I try to watch them all, but I do miss a few, especially Saturday's game wasn't, but usually they're on at funny times. Saturdays was actually a more reasonable time and day on a Saturday. Um, well, anyway, as you all know, it was 2-2. I watched the highlights. Sancho again was a live wire. Martial, even though he didn't score, looked good. As did Rashford. The front three are looking good. Bruno, same again. He's looking a bit more conservative with the ball. Still playing great passes, but not quite as much and not as many Hollywood Hail Mary passes, whatever you want to call them. The underlying issue I saw online that Van der Beek was very poor. Van der Week is one of the names I saw touted, which is unfortunate. I've really been rooted for Van der Beek since he came. I'm hoping he does well under Ten Hag. I think it's just finding where he best fits into the system as well as getting his confidence back. If anyone can do it, obviously it's Ten Hag. Other points from the game: Garner got his first minutes of pre-season. He came on for the last, I think it was 23, 25 minutes. Varane came back. Garnacho still hasn't played at all. I think a lot of us think Garnacho is maybe a little bit further along than he is. I think it's important to remember he is only, has he just turned 18 or is he still 17? Even though he's been up to the Argentina squad and stuff. Obviously there's a player in there, and a lot of us watched the FA Youth Cup final where it was quite selfish, but he probably was the best player on the pitch. Um, him not getting minutes is not really an issue. There has been talk that apparently Ten Hag punished one of the players for being late to a team meeting. He was due to start a game, and because he was late, he was punished by not starting. A lot of people have theorised that that might be Garnacho. He's still young, he's still learning, his discipline isn't the best. Some people have theorised it might be Hannibal, who has only got minutes in the last couple of games. I suppose it doesn't really matter who it is. It could even be a nothing story. It could be made up completely. But it's kind of underlining that fact that Ten Hag is quite disciplined, he's quite strict, and just won't stand for it really, which I think bodes well for the whole Ronaldo thing. I've said it many times. He was off with family-related issues, but if he does come back and kick off or throw his toys at the pram, Ten Hag is not the kind of manager to let it go. I don't think he'll be playing players that he doesn't think deserves it or doesn't have the right attitude. And nobody's questioning, obviously, Ronaldo's attitude. He doesn't get to be the player he is with the legacy he is without a work ethic attitude. But he has to fall in line. He has to realise he's not bigger than the club as much as he may think he is, and as much as he's arguably the greatest player that ever was. He's still not bigger than the club. Long before he played, there were great players. Long after he retires, there will be great players. There could be greater players than him and Messi. The club will always be. Um, Moving on from the game, it's reported that Ronaldo is on his way back to Manchester. He's flying back today. These reports, could be unfounded, but it is likely that if he's going to play for us this season. He will take part in one of the two games. As I mentioned, we've got Atletico Madrid on Saturday in Oslo and Rayo Vallecano at Old Trafford on Sunday. So I'm expecting the team to be split in two. First team players split between the two games and younger players making up the numbers. I would expect Ronaldo to play in one of those games. Obviously, he's been keeping fit, he always does, so I'd expect he'd play the majority of the game. And Martial to be playing the other game, but again, we'll see. Eriksen has also been pictured in Manchester, and it's reported that Martinez has been in Manchester. He flew over a while ago to complete everything. It's reported that he stayed in Manchester and he's been training with the United players that have stayed back and coaches. So again, unfounded reports. I've seen it, but I haven't seen any pictures of him. Eriksen actually has been pictured in Manchester. So again, Eriksen, Martinez should be taking some part in at least one of the games. Other news is that Williams is apparently being lined up for a £15 million move to Brighton, which would make sense with not only Lamptey's kind of injury issues here and there, but also Cucurella is expected to move to Man City at some point, who have just sold Zinchenko to Arsenal. I think it's a very wise move from Brighton, that homegrown. We saw the fight he had at Norwich, we've seen the fight he's got at United. He could go to Brighton and have one good season and be worth twice as much. He's still a young English player, he's versatile, he can play on both flanks, both full-back positions I should say. He's quite an attacking full-back, so I think he'd fit quite well there. And they could sell Cucurella for 35 million, get Williams in and still have 20 million profit. It's great business for them, and I'm sure Potter would get the best out of him. Sorry, I keep looking down, I've written down my news. Other updates, there's no news on Phil Jones. Nobody knows what's happening there. Tuanzebe, who flew back to Manchester earlier from the tour, no news there. Alvaro Fernandez, a young left wing back, who probably should have made his debut towards the end of last season, but we kept dropping points. We were never in a comfortable enough position to play him. He's been linked with a loan move to Preston, which I think would be a great move for him. Playing football outside the Premier League, he might not play every week. It's yet to be seen how he does if he did go there, but I'm sure he would get game time. And the fact Preston is so close to Manchester would obviously help. It's not like he's going to the South Coast or right up in the north or even down to the Midlands. He would still be able to see the people that he knows, the community that he's in. I'm not sure how his English is. He's only been in Manchester for, is it 2 years, I believe, since he moved. And one thing I did want to bring up was the Rayo Vallecano game at Old Trafford. Over 10,000 free tickets have been given away to local schools and youth clubs by the club, which I think is just a great thing. It's great to see that a lot of kids might never really get the chance to go to Old Trafford. It's not a cheap day out, so that'll be great for them. I'm sure you'll hear the support when the game is on. Now, the big news that's obviously in the thumbnail is regarding Ronaldo and Barcelona. Now, they might not be linked, they might be. Some reports are saying that Ronaldo to Barcelona is still a possibility. I have no idea how this could be. Obviously, they've just signed Lewandowski. It looks like they're signing Jules Koundé. They've signed Rafinha. And obviously the free transfers they brought in as well, Christensen, Kessie, their wages, who knows what's happening with De Jong, which I'll get to shortly. And they're still trying to get Azpilicueta and Alonso from Chelsea. Just crazy. I'd be very surprised if Chelsea does a deal with them. I mean, Chelsea wanted Rafinha, Chelsea wanted Koundé, and Barcelona have apparently gazumped is the word of the summer. Gazump and Lever are the words of the summer, and they're both regarding Barcelona. So that would be a surprise for me. Ronaldo won't go to Barcelona. There's no chance it will happen now with the wages, Lewandowski, other factors. Um, on Ronaldo possibly leaving, there's talks of him going out on loan. Um, Again, could be a possibility. It would be a poor deal for Man United. You know, we would no doubt be covering at least some of his wages. We wouldn't be getting a transfer fee. There might be a loan fee involved, but it won't be your 12 to 15 million that we would have got in transfer fees. And then when the loan is up, he leaves on a free. You know, it's not really ideal. The names linked with a loan is again the same contenders: Chelsea, Napoli, Barcelona. Bayern Munich are still linked, even though everyone, every man and his dog who got a position in Bayern have said he's not coming. The other news, the other big news, is Barcelona players that United could be signing. Um, I have been a little bit cheeky on the thumbnail mentioning 3 players that United could bring in from Barca. Obviously, one of those is still Frankie de Jong. The talk is now that he's being pushed out. The comments made by Xavi, the fact he's been starting on the bench for their friendlies, and when he did play, he's been playing as a centre back. Xavi's mentioned the economic situation. I think they are trying to force him out, and I think de Jong is reluctant. You know, and the comments he's making, the comments that we've seen, is that he wants to stay. I think it's deeper than that. I think it's about the money. You know, he's owed kind of 17 million euros, which it's kind of hinted at that if he leaves Barcelona, he won't be paid these wages that he's owed. And if he stays, he will be paid them. It is a little bit strange. I don't think we would still be linked with him. I don't think there would still be a chance of him coming if he hadn't told Eric Ten Hag or United or somebody that he is interested and that he does want to come, at least in some capacity. I do think this one will kind of go down to the wire. It doesn't look like we're going to sign a replacement or an alternative. I think it will go down to the wire, and Barcelona will get to a point where they will show their cards, and they might say something like, okay, we'll pay you 10, 12 million of your deferred wages now, and we'll write up a contract or something, an agreement to pay back the remaining amount over so much time. Or I don't know. I hope they don't expect United to pay these deferred wages, but we're kind of stuck really. If that's the player that we want, and he's the key target for Ten Hag, then would you pay an extra 13, 14 million pounds on top of what we've already agreed to pay those deferred wages to get him in? I'd hope not, but we could see that happen. The only other player we've been linked with as an alternative is Milinkovic-Savic that I've seen in actual reports. Neves would be my first choice if we're going to sign someone as an alternative to de Jong. But Milinkovic-Savic makes sense. He's got a year left on his contract. He's not exactly a de Jong type player, but he's very good with the ball at his feet. He could be a playmaker for us. The reason it's very clever is he could come in, and then we could still sign de Jong at the end of the window, and Milinkovic-Savic would essentially be an upgrade on Scott McTominay or Fred, or a rotation option. And de Jong would be de Jong. He would come in and he would take the position that nobody else has got really at United, with young James Garner underneath him, beneath him, or rotating with him, understudy. So moving on from de Jong, the other 2 players that we've been linked with from Barcelona that could be coming in. One has been here before and is Memphis Depay. I don't think he's a bad option at all if Ronaldo were to leave. He's been playing striker kind of since he left us at Lyon and then Barcelona. He's a better striker than a lot of people thought he would turn out to be. And he could be the right age, maturity, a point to prove after Barcelona have essentially dumped him after wanting him. And obviously it didn't work out at United. Could he come back and be a very good striker for us? And it does help that he can kind of play out wide as well. He can cover that right wing position or cover the left wing if needed, as well as play up front, as can Martial with the left wing. So I wouldn't be averse to bringing Depay in. And the fact that Barcelona want him out, have essentially said he doesn't have a place in the squad. We could get him for a decent price. Maybe some kind of agreement with the de Jong deal. We'll pay you an extra 15 million, but we want Depay as well. So you get your money for the deferred wages. You get a player off the wage bill that you don't want. I wouldn't be averse to that at all. The other player is the right back Serginho Dest, who we have been linked with before, even before he went to Barcelona. The young, I'm sure he is American. I've signed him on Football Manager and he was American, unless he's declared for someone else now. I think he's still American. So we've been linked with him for 12 to 15 million pounds apparently. Not a bad player. Decent. Is he really an upgrade on what we've got? I'm not 100%. Obviously playing in La Liga it's a little bit different. But we are linked with him, whether that's just just linking his name with United for various reasons, which we've seen happen time and time again. We are linked with him, but I think the more likely signing will be Klaus, who we've been linked with from Ligue 1, a 29-year-old French right back who has played for the France national team, who are absolutely stacked. So for him to play for that team is a merit in itself. I think that'll be the player that we'll bring in, and the reports are kind of £8-9 million, and we're looking at moving Wan-Bissaka on for £15 to £20 million. So a very astute signing, would give us a few years. That's what I would go for. If we could get Milinkovic-Savic in, if we could get maybe Depay and De Jong, that would be a 10 out of 10 window. I can't see it all happening, but who knows? Stranger things have happened. So yeah, just to finish up, the next two games, Atletico Madrid and Rayo Vallecano, come in Saturday and Sunday. And then the following week is our first game of the season against Brighton at home at Old Trafford. Your predictions for your lineup, what you think might happen with De Jong, I'll be very interested to know. Please leave a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. My numbers are up on subscriptions and views, which I'm very happy with. I have been working, while I haven't done another video over the weekend, I have been working to try and get those numbers up, and I've been very happy with the results. So thank you to everyone who has joined and subscribed. Thank you very much. Good night, and I'll see you on the next video, which I hope won't take as long as this one did. I just did want to mention this is my 10th video as well, which I've uploaded, so I'm very proud of that. And here's to another 10, another 100, another however many. Thank you again, and good night.